I spent 3 hours on November 23rd, 2023, basting a 22-pound turkey for 12 people who had absolutely no idea that in 4 hours I was going to destroy every single one of them. If you got some time, maybe grab a drink, because this is going to be long, but I promise you, every minute is worth it. This isn't just about revenge, though trust me, the revenge is good. This is about what happens when you realize the people you die for have been watching you bleed out for over a year, and they just let it happen. So why did I spend 3 weeks planning the perfect Thanksgiving dinner when I knew it would be the last meal we'd ever share? Because sometimes the only way to make people see the truth is to serve it to them on a platter, literally. Here's what you need to know. I'm Daniel. I'm 28, I teach high school English in Lake Oswego, Oregon, and up until about 8 months ago, I thought I had it all figured out. I had Sarah, my wife of 5 years, my college sweetheart, the woman I thought I'd grow old with. I had Kevin, my best friend since freshman year, the guy who was there for every milestone, every crisis, every stupid decision I'd ever made. And I had this friend group, 8 of us total, 4 couples who'd known each other for over a decade. We weren't just friends, we were family, emergency contacts, wedding parties, the people you call at 2 a.m. when life goes sideways. Turns out some of them were the ones pushing me sideways, and they'd been doing it for 14 months. Let me take you back to the beginning, or at least the beginning of the end. October 2023. Everything seemed fine. Well, fine-ish. Sarah and I had been in that phase where you're not really connecting, you know. She was working crazy hours at the hospital. She's an ER nurse, and I was grinding toward tenure at school, coaching JV baseball, trying to be the teacher who actually gives a shit. We'd have these conversations that were just logistics. Did you pay the water bill? Can you pick up groceries? I'm working late Thursday. Normal married stuff, right? Boring, but normal. The friend group was the same as always. Every Halloween, one of us hosted a costume party. This year it was Kevin's turn. He'd just bought this slick condo in the Pearl District, all exposed brick and floor-to-ceiling windows, and he was pumped to show it off. The party was October 31st, obviously. Sarah had been weirdly excited about it for weeks. Looking back, I can list about 20 red flags from that month alone. But when you trust people completely, red flags just look like flags. I remember this one night, October 26th. I came home from parent-teacher conferences, around 9. Sarah was curled up on the couch, phone glued to her face, grinning like a teenager. "Who are you texting?" I asked, dropping my bag by the door. She looked up, still smiling. "Oh, just coordinating costumes with the girls. You know how Jessica gets about themes." Jessica was Marcus's wife, Sarah's closest friend in the group. Made sense. I didn't think twice about it. 2 days later, Saturday morning, Sarah brought it up again over coffee. "You know, you've been so exhausted with work lately. If you want to skip the Halloween party, I totally wouldn't be mad." I looked at her over my mug. "Skip Halloween? That's like our favorite tradition." "I know, She shrugged. "You've been staying late at school every day. I don't want you to feel obligated." "I'm coming," I said. "I already have a costume. Bank robber mask from Target. Very low effort." She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Okay, cool." The night before Halloween, Kevin came over for our usual Sunday football ritual. We'd been doing this since college. Beer, wings, yelling at the TV. Except that day, he barely watched the game. He kept checking his phone, typing fast, grinning at the screen. "Hot date," I joked. He laughed it off. "Just a client. Real estate never sleeps, man." Kevin had been killing it as a real estate agent. Always closing deals, always hustling. He'd gotten more successful than me, honestly, which I was fine with. I was proud of him. He was my brother. That's what I thought anyway. Halloween night. I got home from school around 7, parent-teacher conferences ran late, and rushed to throw on my costume. Sarah had already left. She said she was heading over early to help Kevin set up. I didn't question it. Why would I? I showed up to the party around 8:30. Kevin's place was packed, music thumping, people everywhere in costumes. I spotted Jessica right away. She was dressed as Cleopatra, full gold headdress, the works. I went up to her. "Where's Sarah? I thought you guys were doing a couple's costume." Jessica's face did this weird thing, like she forgot her lines for a second. "Oh, yeah. She's around somewhere. Mingling, I think." I found Sarah about 10 minutes later. She was across the room, laughing, wine glass in hand, talking to Kevin. And here's the thing. They were in matching costumes. Sarah was in this sleek black catsuit, hair slicked back, dramatic makeup. Kevin was in a sharp suit, fake gun in a shoulder holster. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, assassin couple, partners in crime. I walked over, and they both turned to me with these huge smiles. Too big, too bright. "Hey!" Sarah kissed my cheek. "You made it." "Yeah, I made it." I looked between them. "Since when are you guys doing a couple's costume?" Kevin laughed, slinging an arm around my shoulder. "Dude, you never commit to themes. Sarah volunteered since she said you'd just show up in whatever. No big deal, right?" I wanted to say something. I should have said something, but I was standing there in a plastic bank robber mask from Target, and they looked like they'd stepped out of a movie, and everyone around us was laughing and drinking and having fun. So I just nodded. "Yeah, no big deal." The rest of the party felt off. Sarah kept disappearing. I'd find her in the kitchen, then she'd vanish for 20 minutes. Kevin was overly attentive to me. Kept handing me beers, asking about school, cracking jokes. Overcompensating, I realize now. I left around midnight, told Sarah I was exhausted. She said she'd catch a ride with Marcus and Jessica. I went home, crawled into bed, and fell asleep alone. The next morning I woke up with the flu, like the real deal. Fever, chills, body aches. I called in sick to school, which I never do. I'm that annoying teacher who shows up even when I'm half dead. But this knocked me flat. I spent the next 3 days in bed, alternating between Netflix and unconsciousness. Sarah worked night shifts November 2nd and 3rd. At least that's what she told me. I was too sick to question it. She'd come home in the morning, check on me, bring me soup, then sleep in the guest room so I wouldn't get her sick. Thoughtful, right? That's what I thought. November 4th, Saturday afternoon. I was finally starting to feel human again. I dragged myself downstairs to get the mail and noticed the front porch was empty. Again! Third Amazon package stolen that month. I was so fed up. I ordered a Ring doorbell camera on Amazon, paid extra for same-day delivery, and installed it that afternoon, around 4. I remember testing it, watching the live feed on my phone, thinking, finally, I'll catch whoever's stealing my shit. I installed that camera to catch a thief stealing $40 packages. Instead, I caught a theft I'd never get back from. November 5th, 3:47 a.m. My phone buzzed with a ring motion alert. I was still recovering from the flu, home alone. Sarah was supposedly at her hospital shift. I grabbed my phone groggily, squinted at the notification. Someone at the front door. I opened the app, and my entire world stopped. It was Sarah and Kevin arriving together, stumbling, clearly drunk or high or both, laughing, hanging all over each other. And then they kissed. Not a friendly peck. A full, hungry, I've been waiting all night for this kiss, right there on my doorstep. Sarah fumbled with her keys, dropped them, laughed, picked them up. Kevin had his hands all over her. I sat up in bed staring at my phone, convinced I was hallucinating. This couldn't be real. The fever must have come back. But the timestamp was right there. 3:47 a.m., November 5th, 2023. They stumbled inside. The camera had a partial view through the living room window. I watched them collapse onto my couch, the couch Sarah and I bought together at IKEA 2 years ago. And I watched them go at it, clothes coming off, hands everywhere. 14 minutes. I counted. 14 minutes of footage that would be burned into my brain forever. Then Sarah got up, straightened her scrubs, her hospital scrubs, the ones she was supposedly wearing during her shift, and stumbled upstairs. I heard the shower turn on. She slipped into bed next to me about 30 minutes later, hair wet, smelling like my soap. I pretended to be asleep. The next morning I went to school on autopilot. I taught 4 classes. I have no idea what I said. I coached baseball practice. I came home. Sarah asked how I was feeling, made me soup, kissed me on the forehead. "How was your shift?" I asked, stirring the soup, staring at the bowl. "Exhausting. 3-car pileup on I-5. We had patients coming in all night." "That sounds rough," I said, and I meant it. Not the shift, the lie. The fact that she could look me in the eye and lie so easily after what I'd seen. That night I started digging. The Ring app stores 60 days of footage. I went through every single day, every single alert. November 5th wasn't the first time. It wasn't even close. There were 3 other instances in October. Late nights when I was at away games with the baseball team or working late at school. Sarah and Kevin, over and over. My house, my couch. My bed, probably, though the camera didn't catch that. I created a secret folder on my laptop, downloaded everything, saved it to 3 different cloud accounts. I wasn't thinking about revenge yet. I was just thinking, I need proof, because if I confront her and she denies it, I need proof. November 11th. I waited until Sarah was in the shower, then I did something I never thought I'd do. I unlocked her phone. I knew her passcode. It was our anniversary. How fucking poetic is that? Her text thread with Kevin was carefully managed. Most messages were deleted, but she'd forgotten about the recently deleted folder. There were hundreds of them, hundreds, going back to August 2022, over a year. I feel bad lying to D, but this feels too good to stop. He's clueless. Just keep doing what you're doing. I wish we could just be together for real. Patience, babe. We'll figure it out. Babe. She called him babe. But here's where it got worse. I found a separate group chat. Sarah, Kevin, Marcus, and Jessica. The title was just an eyes emoji, and they were all in on it. All of them. Marcus, October 20th. How long are you guys gonna keep this up? Sarah. Until it's not fun anymore, I guess. Kevin. Daniel's too nice to suspect anything. We're fine. Jessica. I just feel bad sometimes. He's such a good guy. Sarah. Then don't think about it. I sat on the bathroom floor with her phone, reading message after message, and something inside me just broke. Not the angry kind of broken. The cold kind. The kind where you realize you've been living in a lie so big, you can't even see the edges of it. I put her phone back exactly where I found it. She came out of the shower, smiled at me, asked if I wanted to watch a movie. Sure, I said. Sounds great. Over the next week, I became a detective. I went through Instagram, Facebook, Venmo. Every girls' night Sarah had told me about. Kevin was there. September Cannon Beach trip. Sarah said it was just the girls. Kevin posted a story from the same hotel. October, concert at the Moda Center. Sarah went with Jessica. Kevin posted from the same section, same row, and the Venmo payments. 13 months of transactions. Kevin to Sarah. Dinner. Wine for later. Best weekend ever. I made a timeline. The affair started in August 2022, right after our annual friend group beach rental, where we all paired up for a beach volleyball tournament. Sarah and Kevin were partners. They won. Everyone cheered. I took the photos. That was the last time I was happy without knowing I shouldn't be. November 12th, I scrolled through the Halloween party photos everyone had posted. Sarah had uploaded one at 11:47 p.m. Her and Kevin in the Mr. and Mrs. Smith costumes, his arm around her waist, both of them grinning. The caption, "When your work wife gets you, Kevin Bradford." Work wife. 300 people liked that post, including me. I'd liked it that night, standing in Kevin's kitchen, thinking it was a cute joke. I checked the metadata on the photo. It was taken at 9:15 p.m. in Kevin's bedroom, while the party was happening downstairs, while I was in the living room talking to Tyler about baseball stats. November 13th. I sat in my car, in the school parking lot, and had a full-blown panic attack. Hands shaking, heart racing, couldn't breathe. I called my older brother Scott. He lives in Seattle, totally outside this friend group, barely knows any of them. "Scott," I said when he picked up, "I need to talk." I told him everything. The footage, the texts, the timeline, the friend group knowing. He was quiet for a long time. "Don't confront her yet," he finally said. "You confront now. She controls the narrative. Get a lawyer. Document everything. Protect yourself first." But everyone knows Scott. The whole friend group knows. If I just leave, they'll all circle around her and Kevin. They'll make me the bad guy somehow. "So what do you want to do?" I stared out the windshield at the empty parking lot. "I want everyone to know. I want them all to see what they did, at the same time, with no escape." Scott was quiet again. "That's a lot, man. They did a lot." That night, I went home and acted completely normal. I kissed Sarah when she walked in. I asked about her day. I suggested we host Thanksgiving this year, something we'd never done. It was always at Marcus and Jessica's place. Sarah lit up. "Really? That would be amazing. Everyone would love that." "Yeah," I said, smiling. "I think it's time we brought everyone together." I volunteered to host Thanksgiving dinner. I told Sarah it was because I wanted to strengthen our community, bring everyone closer. What I meant was, I wanted them all in one room when their world ended. November 14th. I told Sarah I was going to Seattle to visit Scott for the weekend. "Brother bonding," I said. She thought it was sweet. She kissed me goodbye, told me to drive safe. I didn't go to Seattle. I checked into a budget motel near the airport, brought my laptop and an external hard drive, and spent 12 straight hours organizing every piece of evidence I had. Security footage, text screenshots, 178 messages, Instagram posts with metadata showing location and time discrepancies, credit card statements from our joint account showing hotel charges, 4 different hotels, room service for 2, late checkouts. Sarah had charged them all to our card. My teaching salary paying for the rooms where she fucked my best friend. But the worst thing, the thing that finally broke me, was the voice memo. I found it in Sarah's recently deleted files. She'd recorded it and forgot to fully delete it. It was her and Jessica talking, just the two of them. "Sarah, I don't know how much longer I can do this double life thing." Jessica, "Do you love him? Kevin, I mean." Sarah, "I don't know. I love how he makes me feel. Daniel is just comfortable, safe, boring." Jessica, "So leave Daniel." Sarah, "I can't. The house is in both our names, and it would destroy the friend group. Everyone would have to choose sides." Jessica, "We'd choose you guys. You and Kevin make more sense anyway." I listened to that voice memo 8 times. I threw up in the motel bathroom. I called Scott at 2 a.m., crying for the first time since our dad's funeral. "Come to Seattle," Scott said. "Leave her. You deserve better." "I can't just leave," I said. "They need to know what they did. All of them." "So make them know." I wrote everything I wanted to scream at them. 11 pages, longhand, sitting on a motel bed at 3 a.m. And then I realized, if I confront them individually, they'll manipulate, gaslight, spin it. But if I show everyone the truth at the same time in front of each other, there's nowhere to hide. Public revelation. No escape, no spin. Everyone sees everything at once. I drove home November 15th and put on the performance of my life. I was the perfect husband, attentive, loving. We had sex that night, she initiated, and I dissociated through the whole thing thinking, this is the last time. This is the last time I'll ever touch you. November 16th. I met with a divorce lawyer. Her name was Diane Chen, referred by Scott. I showed her everything. She looked at the evidence for a long time, then looked up at me. Oregon is a no-fault divorce state, but this will help with asset division. And if she tries to claim you're unstable or abusive, we have proof she's been lying for over a year. Can we file now but hold the papers until after Thanksgiving? She raised an eyebrow. You want to serve her the day after Thanksgiving? I want to do something first. Should I ask? Probably not. November 17th, I posted in the friend group chat. Sarah and I would love to host Thanksgiving this year. Come hungry. The response was immediate. Enthusiasm from everyone. Kevin sent back, Hell yeah, brother, can't wait. Marcus, about time you hosted. We'll bring pie. Jessica, this is so sweet of you guys. Sarah hugged me that night. Thank you for doing this. I know you've been stressed with work. This is really thoughtful. I'm just grateful for clarity, I said. And I was. She just didn't know what kind of clarity. For the next week, I became someone else. Someone cold, someone calculated. I created a slideshow, 47 slides, chronologically organized, with timestamps and locations. I titled it Thanksgiving 2023, a retrospective. I backed everything up to 3 separate cloud accounts and a USB drive hidden in my classroom desk. I met with my school principal and explained the situation proactively. I showed him the evidence. I'm filing for divorce. There's going to be some social fallout. I wanted you to know first so it doesn't blindside you or affect my job. He looked at me for a long time. I'm sorry, Daniel. Take whatever time you need after Thanksgiving. And for what it's worth, you're handling this with a lot more grace than most people would. Grace? Sure. If he'd seen what I was planning, he might have used a different word. I separated our finances, moved half the joint savings to a new account, froze the joint credit card, changed passwords on every shared account. I wasn't going to let her drain everything and claim she deserved it. I planned the seating chart for Thanksgiving. Head of table, me. To my right, Sarah. To my left, Kevin. Everyone else arranged so they'd all have a clear view of the TV I was going to set up in the dining room. I told Sarah it was for a slideshow of friend group memories from this year. She thought it was adorable. Everyone's going to love that. Yeah, they were. November 23rd, Thanksgiving morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. and started cooking. 3 hours of prep work while Sarah slept, basting the turkey, seasoning the sides, setting the table. And the whole time, I thought about each person coming to dinner. Marcus and Jessica. They'd enabled this from the beginning. Actively helped cover for the affair. They needed to own it. Tyler and Amanda, they suspected but didn't want to get involved. Cowards. They chose comfort over truth. Jason and Brittany. They found out 3 weeks ago and debated telling me, but decided group loyalty mattered more. They'd made their choice. Ryan and Emma claimed they didn't know, but they'd been carefully managed. Stayed conveniently busy whenever I needed support. Every single person coming to dinner had made a choice. Today, they'd face the consequences. Sarah came downstairs around 9, still in her pajamas, and found me in the kitchen. You're really going all out, she said, kissing my cheek. This is so sweet. I wanted it to be perfect, I said, and I meant it. This needed to be perfect. By noon, the house smelled incredible. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, green beans, or rolls. Sarah was decorating, setting out candles, playing soft holiday music. She was performing domesticity, and she was good at it. Everything looked Instagram perfect. At 1:30 p.m., I set up my laptop in the dining room, connected it to the TV, tested the slideshow. Perfect angles. Everyone would see the screen clearly. What's that for? Sarah asked. The slideshow, remember? Friend group memories from this year. She smiled. Right. That's going to be so cute. At 2 p.m., Kevin arrived early, brought expensive wine, hugged me hard. Love you, man. Thanks for hosting. I hugged him back. Wouldn't want anyone else here. True, I wanted him front and center for this. When Sarah's back was turned, Kevin caught her eye, and they exchanged this quick glance. Secret, intimate. The kind of look that said, "We're getting away with this." Last one, I thought. That's your last secret look. By 3:30 p.m., everyone had arrived. Marcus and Jessica brought pumpkin pie, acting overly friendly. Tyler and Amanda seemed nervous. I noticed Tyler checking his phone more than usual. Jason and Brittany arrived last, both quiet, watching me carefully. Ryan and Emma were genuinely excited, completely oblivious. We had drinks in the living room first. The friend group dynamic was on full display. Inside jokes, familiar banter, the performance of closeness we'd all perfected over a decade. I watched it from the kitchen like I was studying a play I used to be in. At 4:20 p.m., I called everyone to the table. "Dinner's ready!" They filed in, laughing, complimenting the food, complimenting the table settings. Sarah beamed. This was her moment, the perfect Thanksgiving she'd always wanted to host. I seated everyone exactly where I'd planned. I dimmed the lights slightly, asked someone to close the blinds. "For atmosphere," I said. Everyone laughed. Marcus joked about me being fancy now. I stood at the head of the table. 12 people I'd loved for a decade, looking up at me, smiling, trusting, waiting for whatever I was going to say. "Before we eat," I said, "I made a slideshow, a little retrospective of what I'm grateful for this year." Sarah squeezed my hand under the table. Kevin raised his glass. Tyler smiled. Jessica had tears in her eyes already, probably thinking this was going to be some emotional tribute to friendship. None of them knew they were about to watch their lives implode in 4K. I clicked the remote. The TV screen lit up. Title slide. Thanksgiving 2023, a retrospective, what I'm grateful for. Soft music started playing. Home by Philip Phillips, ironically. A few people chuckled, probably thinking this was going to be cheesy. Slide 2, I'm grateful for truth. Slide 3, even when it destroys everything. The room got quiet. Sarah looked up at me. "Babe, what is this?" "Just watch." Slide 4, the Halloween party photo. Sarah and Kevin in the Mr. and Mrs. Smith costumes, both grinning. Caption, October 31st, 2023, 11:47 p.m. Sarah posts this calling Kevin her work wife. A few nervous laughs. Jessica whispered something to Marcus. Slide 5, a screenshot of the photo's metadata. But this photo was actually taken at 9:15 p.m. in Kevin's bedroom. Kevin stood up. "Daniel, man, what the hell? Sit down, Kevin. Everyone's going to want to see this." He sat down. Sarah's face had gone white. Slide 6 through 10, security camera stills. November 5th, 3:47 a.m. Sarah and Kevin at my front door, kissing, walking into the house, collapsing onto the couch, timestamp overlay on each image, while Daniel was upstairs sick with flu. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. "You knew. For 3 weeks. Keep watching." Slides 11 through 15. Text message screenshots. "I feel bad lying to D, but this feels too good to stop. He's clueless. Just keep doing what you're doing." The group chat with Sarah, Kevin, Marcus, and Jessica, coordinating alibis, planning cover stories, laughing about it. Jessica gasped. Marcus dropped his fork. It clattered against his plate, the only sound in the room, besides the soft music, still playing ironically in the background. Slide 16. "Now let's talk about all of you." Tyler muttered, "Oh my God." Slides 17 through 19. More screenshots from the group chat. Marcus, "How long are you guys gonna keep this up?" Sarah, "Until it's not fun anymore, I guess." Jessica, "I'm just glad they're happy. Daniel will survive." Marcus stood up. "This is insane." "Is it?" I said, my voice calm, cold. "You knew for 8 months, Marcus. Jessica knew for 6. You didn't just not tell me. You actively helped them lie. You provided alibis. You encouraged her. Jessica started crying. We didn't know what to do. You knew exactly what to do. You chose them over me. Slides 20 through 22. Instagram receipts showing Tyler and Amanda changing plans to avoid me. Text from Amanda to Sarah. Can't do double date. Too awkward knowing what I know. Amanda looked at Tyler. We didn't. We weren't sure. You suspected, I said. That was enough. You could have asked me. You could have said something, anything, but you chose silence. Slides 23 through 25. Jason and Brittany's text thread from November 2nd. Brittany. Should we tell Daniel? Jason. Not our place. Let's stay out of it. Jason's face went red. Daniel, we were going to tell you after the holidays. But you didn't. You invited me to brunch last week. You texted me memes. You performed friendship while knowing my wife was fucking my best friend in my house. Slides 26 through 30. Credit card statements. Our joint credit card. Hotel charges, room service, late checkout fees. 4 different hotels, August through October. These were charged to our joint account, I said. The account I deposited my teaching salary into every 2 weeks. I paid for the hotels where my wife fucked my best friend. Sarah was sobbing now, head in her hands. Daniel, please. No, you don't get to please me. You had 14 months to talk to me, to tell me you weren't happy, to end this with any shred of dignity. You chose this. Slides 31 and 32. Venmo payments. Kevin to Sarah. 13 months of cute little messages with heart emojis. Dinner. Wine for later. Best weekend ever. Then slide 33. And finally, the truth in their own words. I played the audio. Sarah's voice, clear as day, through the TV speakers. I don't know how much longer I can do this double life thing. Do you love him? I don't know. I love how he makes me feel. Daniel is just comfortable, safe, boring. So leave Daniel. I can't. The house is in both our names, and it would destroy the friend group. We'd choose you guys. You and Kevin make more sense anyway. The audio ended. Dead silence. Ryan stared at Emma like he'd never seen her before. Even though they hadn't known, the betrayal of the others was hitting everyone. Emma whispered, Jesus Christ. Kevin tried again. Daniel, let me explain. Explain what? That you're in love with my wife, that you spent over a year sneaking around while I called you my brother, that you came to my house every week, ate my food, watched football with me, and then fucked my wife the second I wasn't looking. Save it. Final slides. Slide 34. Last year's Thanksgiving photo. All of us, arms around each other, smiling. Caption. 1 year ago, I thought these were my people. Slide 35. The same photo, but with red X's drawn over Sarah and Kevin. Today I'm grateful for the truth. Slide 36. Divorce papers will be served tomorrow. Slide 37. I've changed locks, moved my things, opened separate accounts. Slide 38. Sarah, you have 48 hours to collect your belongings. Slide 39. Kevin, you're no longer welcome in my life. Slide 40. The group photo again. Everyone circled. To everyone else, you chose silence. That was a choice. Own it. Final slide. 41. Black screen. White text. Thanksgiving is about gratitude. I'm grateful the masks finally came off. Dinner is served. You can leave now. The room exploded. Sarah ran to the bathroom. I heard her vomiting. Kevin punched the wall. Actually, punched it, left a dent, and stormed toward the door. Get out of my house, I said. Marcus turned on Jessica. You told her we'd choose them? We have kids, Jessica. This is going to blow up our entire lives. Jessica sobbed into her hands. I didn't think he'd find out. That's not the point. Tyler and Amanda were fighting in harsh whispers. Did you know it was this bad? I didn't want to get involved. Not getting involved was getting involved. Jason grabbed Brittany's arm. We should have told him. I told you we should have told him. I know. Ryan, bless him, looked at me with genuine horror. I had no idea, man. I swear to God, I had no idea. I know, I said. That's why you get to stay for pie if you want. He didn't laugh. He just looked devastated. Sarah came back from the bathroom, mascara streaked down her face, shaking. Daniel, can we talk alone, please? No. You said everything that mattered in that voice memo. I'm comfortable, safe, boring. You were right. I was so safe, I never thought you'd destroy me. But you know what? Comfortable and safe are actually pretty great qualities. I'll find someone who appreciates them. Kevin was still lingering by the door. We didn't mean to hurt you. I laughed. Actually laughed. Yes, you did. 14 months isn't an accident. It's a decision you made every single day, every time you texted her, every time you showed up at my house and pretended to be my friend. Every time you looked me in the eye and lied. Those were choices. You meant it. Now get the fuck out. He left, slammed the door hard enough that a picture frame fell off the wall. Marcus and Jessica left next, still fighting. Tyler and Amanda followed, not speaking to each other. Jason and Brittany left quietly, both looking like they'd aged 10 years. Ryan and Emma stayed for a minute. Do you need anything? Emma asked. Somewhere to stay. We have a guest room. I need everyone gone, I said, not unkindly. But thank you. They left. Sarah was the last one standing there, coat in hand, keys in the other, looking at me like I was a stranger. Where am I supposed to go? She asked. Kevin's place. Isn't that where you've been going anyway? She broke down. Full body sobs. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never meant. Yes, you did. You meant it. You chose it. And now you get to live with it. I closed the door. The house was silent. I walked back into the dining room. The perfectly cooked turkey sat in the center of the table, untouched. 12 place settings, 12 empty chairs. The slideshow was still frozen on the final slide. I sat down at the head of the table, poured myself a glass of wine, and took one bite of turkey. It was perfect, moist, seasoned exactly right. And then I started laughing, and then I started crying, and then I was doing both, sitting alone at a Thanksgiving table set for 12 with a 22-pound turkey that no one would eat. I pulled out my phone and texted Scott. It's done. I need to come to Seattle. He replied immediately. Already made up the guest room. Proud of you. I blew out the candles, grabbed my keys, and walked out of the house. I didn't take anything else, just left the food on the table, the slideshow on the TV, and the wreckage behind me. I left the house at 8:47 p.m. that night. The turkey was still warm, the wine was still flowing, and the 11 people who'd just watched their world end were scattering across Portland, trying to figure out what the hell had just happened. I didn't care. I was free. The next 48 hours were chaos I only heard about later. Sarah showed up at Marcus and Jessica's house at 3 a.m., pounding on the door. They didn't answer. She called her parents. I'd already emailed them the evidence. Her mom told her not to come over. They needed time. Kevin's phone exploded with cancellations from real estate clients. People connected to the friend group, people who'd heard what happened. 3 major deals fell through. Over $180,000 in potential commission, gone. The friend group text chain, the one without me, erupted. I know because Ryan sent me screenshots later. Tyler. I can't believe he did that. Jason. What did you expect? We all lied to him for months. Marcus. He didn't have to humiliate everyone publicly. Ryan. Are we really playing victims right now? You helped them cheat. You all did. Saturday morning, the process server delivered divorce papers to Sarah at a hotel by the airport. She called me 23 times. I didn't answer. She texted, "Please, we need to talk. I'll go to therapy. I'll do anything." I replied once. "Lawyer handles all communication now. Don't contact me again." I posted on social media that Saturday, short and factual. After discovering my wife's 14-month affair with my best friend, and that our friend group helped hide it, I've filed for divorce. I'm taking time to heal and won't be responding to messages. Thank you to those who've shown me what real friendship looks like. Over 200 comments of support within hours. 15 mutual friends unfollowed Sarah and Kevin immediately. I stayed in Seattle for 2 weeks, slept in Scott's guest room, played with my nephew, tried to remember what it felt like to just exist without performing. The fallout continued. Sarah took stress leave from her job at the hospital. Her supervisor, who'd heard through the grapevine, basically told her they'd prefer if she found a position elsewhere. Translation: we don't want the drama. Kevin's brokerage put him on leave. His managing broker said his personal life was affecting business relationships. In December, Kevin moved to Seattle. Not close to me, thankfully. He crashed with his brother and tried to rebuild. Marcus and Jessica's marriage imploded. Turned out helping other people cheat makes your partner question your integrity. Who knew? They started couples therapy, but their own families were furious with them. Marcus's sister posted on Facebook about how disappointed she was in her brother. Public shaming, social media style. Tyler and Amanda separated in April. The guilt of what they'd done or hadn't done ate Tyler alive. Amanda stayed defensive, insisting they hadn't done anything wrong. But inaction is action. They're probably divorcing. Jason and Brittany reached out to me in December. We met for coffee. Jason owned everything. "We found out 3 weeks before Thanksgiving," he said. "We debated telling you. We chose wrong. I'm sorry. You deserved better from us." I appreciated the honesty, but I told them I needed time. In January, Brittany sent me a Christmas card with a handwritten note. "We don't expect forgiveness, but we're here if you ever want to talk." Ryan and Emma were the only ones who came out clean. They genuinely hadn't known. By New Year's, we were having dinner once a month. Real friendship, built on honesty, not history. And Sarah? She moved to Eugene in January to stay with an old college friend. I heard through Ryan that she was struggling. Depression, anxiety, couldn't face anyone in Portland. In late December, her younger sister called me. "I know you have no reason to care," Emily said, "but Sarah tried to hurt herself last night. She's okay. Kevin found her in time. She's in the hospital, on a psych hold." I sat with that information for a long time. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel guilty. I felt sad. Sad that it came to this. Sad that she'd destroyed herself. But I also knew. I didn't cause this. Her choices caused this. I texted Scott. "Sarah's in the hospital. Suicide attempt. How do you feel?" "I don't know." Sad? Relieved it wasn't successful? Guilty? I don't fucking know. You're allowed to feel complex things. You didn't make her do that. She did that to herself through her choices. That Christmas Eve, I sat alone in Scott's guest room and asked myself, did I push her too far? Was public humiliation necessary? And I realized, yes it was, because they'd had a year to be kind, to tell the truth, to give me the dignity of a choice. They chose cruelty. I just held up a mirror. By spring, I was building a new life. I moved into a small apartment in Selwood, 1 bedroom, my name on the lease, minimalist furniture from IKEA, a blank slate. I went to therapy. Dr. Patricia Moore was a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who didn't let me wallow. "Did you do the right thing?" she asked in our first session. "I don't know." "Would a private confrontation have given you what you needed?" "No, they would have gaslit me, made me the villain." So you needed witnesses. You needed the truth to be undeniable. Yes, that's not evil, Daniel. That's self-protection. Teaching felt different after everything. I was more present with my students. I joined the after-school book club. I started writing again, something I'd given up after college. I joined a hiking group on Meetup and met Greg, a guy my age going through his own divorce. We became friends the easy way. No history, no performance, just two guys hiking and occasionally grabbing beers after. In May, I met Rachel. She worked in the school counseling office. She brought me coffee one morning during my planning period. "Thought you could use caffeine," she said. "I've seen you here at 7 a.m., 3 days this week." We talked for 20 minutes. Easy, light, no forced anything. She asked me to join her and some co-workers for trivia night. I went. It was fun. Low stakes, no romantic pressure, just people being people. Slowly, carefully, I started letting someone in. Rachel knew my story. Everyone at school did by then, but she never treated me like a victim or a project. She just treated me like a person, which was all I wanted. The house sold in April. I got my half, $140,000, after paying off the mortgage. I bought a reliable SUV, paid off my car loan, put the rest in savings. Financial freedom felt like psychological freedom. The divorce was finalized on April 22nd. I was officially single. I felt nothing at first, then relief, then sadness, then okay. By summer, I'd built something I'd never had before, a life that was actually mine. No performance, no masks, no pretending. Memorial Day weekend. I drove to Cannon Beach alone, the same beach where the friend group used to rent a house every summer. I sat on the sand, watched the waves, and thought about where I'd been a year ago. 12 months earlier, I was planning an anniversary trip with Sarah. I thought I knew what my life was. I was wrong, I wrote in my journal. A year ago, I thought I knew what my life was. I was wrong. I don't miss what I had. I miss the innocence of believing it was real. I'm lonely sometimes, but I'm not alone, and I'm finally honest. This isn't the life I planned, but it's mine, and it's real. I still think about that Thanksgiving sometimes. The look on their faces when they realized I'd known for weeks. The way Sarah's hands shook. The way Kevin punched the wall. The way 8 people who called themselves family scrambled to justify their silence. People ask me if I regret it. The slideshow, the public exposure, the scorched earth. Honestly, some days, yeah. I wonder if there was a kinder way. But then I remember, they didn't give me a choice. They had 14 months to choose kindness, to tell the truth, to give me the dignity of a decision. They chose betrayal and silence every single day. I don't regret showing them who they really were. I regret that they made it necessary. The hardest part wasn't losing Sarah. It was losing the belief that people are who they say they are. I thought I knew them. Turns out I knew their masks. Would I do it again? Probably not. I'd do it differently, smarter, quieter, with more boundaries set from the beginning. But I'd still choose truth over performance. Every single time. This Thanksgiving, I'm spending it in Seattle with Scott's family. No big gatherings, no expectations. Rachel might join for dessert. Casual, no pressure. We're taking things slow. Both of us learning what healthy looks like. Last Thanksgiving, I spent 3 hours cooking for people who destroyed me. This Thanksgiving, I'm spending 3 hours playing Legos with my nephew and watching football with people who actually give a shit about me. I don't miss the turkey. I don't miss the performance. I don't miss the friend group or the marriage or the version of myself who'd rather be comfortable than honest. I just miss believing it was real. But you know what? I'm grateful the masks came off. I'm grateful I saw the truth, because living in a beautiful lie is still living in a lie. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. Mine was served at 165 degrees, perfectly basted with all the trimmings. And you know what? It was exactly what I needed. Not because it felt good, though some of it did, but because it felt honest. And after 10 years of masks, honest was the only thing worth serving. So, yeah, that's my story. My wife cheated with my best friend for over a year. My entire friend group knew and said nothing. I exposed them all at Thanksgiving dinner and walked away from everything I'd built. Some people think I'm a hero. Some people think I'm a villain. Most days, I think I'm just a guy who got tired of pretending. And, honestly, that's enough.